What up, Jesse? How we doing? Just getting all the streams fired up. Gonna be building the PC today. I mean, obviously, like that's all I do when I'm live, but you know, in case anybody forgot, that's what we're doing. That's what we're here for. Get some music going. All right. What's up, Wyatt? All right. What up, what up? Husk with the subscription. How we doing, dude? Thank you so much. DDS, how we doing? Just make sure chats are working. Three months as a tier 1 for Husk. Heck yeah. I'm doing good, man. Doing good. I feel like I'm finally like over this sickness now, which is great. Still just, you know, a little bit of sinus stuff, but it seems like I can breathe all the time. It's wonderful. Hold on, let me make sure this camera is actually not on manual focus again. I feel like it's been defaulting to that for some reason. Yeah, I went back to manual. There we go. That way you can see my face in HD. All right, let's talk about today's build, because this is a fun one. So this is actually a workstation. I know you guys see me build gaming PCs all the time. This is a workstation system. This is going to be an engineering computer. So with that, we've got the Core Ultra 9 285K, 24 cores. We've got 3 terabytes of storage. We've got a 1 terabyte Patriot P400 Lite, and we've got a Crucial P310 2 terabyte. Got 64 gigs of DDR5. You don't even want to know what this costs right now. We've got a PNY RTX A4500. It's a 20 gigabyte like Pro Series card. We've got the MSI Meg Z890 Ace. This is pretty much top of the line in terms of motherboards. Got a bunch of Arctic fans, and then we've got a 1200 watt power supply. Yeah, it's a 64 gig kit. You can, I mean, you can still find them. They're just expensive. I mean, I felt like energy-wise and stuff, like I felt healthy for like over a week. I just, like all the sinus stuff has just been stuck in there, you know? Must have taken a mortgage out for that. Well, I mean, you know, it's a customer build, so it's not for me. So, you know, I'm getting paid for it, so it doesn't, not a big deal. And then, oh, the other thing, so there's not a fancy picture on it or anything, but this is our first time using, this is the Phanteks EZ Fit soft kit. So this is an all-in-one kit with a radiator, pump, reservoir, and the CPU cooler block, as well as all of the lines. So we'll have custom water cooling for the CPU, all out of that one kit, and they're like $400. It's crazy. Yo, Globetrotter, thank you so much for the 5 roses. Would you possibly have a spare or be able to help me get one somehow? I do not have spares, unfortunately. I mean, you could buy one from me, but like, you have to pay for it. ITX build or mini ITX build? I don't have any ITX builds coming up. I have one like kind of smaller form factor MATX build that we're actually doing for Loot Fest this year. I opened my GPU to clean it. I don't change the thermal paste in GPU when I enter to some game temps be high. It's a little bit hard to read, but like, so if it's getting hot and stuff, and the fans are on high, like you can tune your fans so they go all the way up to like 100% if that, you know, helps your temperatures. But if the temperatures are still getting high and you have good airflow in your case, then you probably do need to replace the thermal paste and the pads on your GPU. Those do wear out. They're not a forever thing. All right, let's get started on the build, shall we? Shall we? Oh, this is like a 10-pound motherboard. I think it's so heavy. Now, normally, for most customers, I would take all of this stuff out because we have to ship it. But this is actually for a local customer. So all this stuff in here that we don't necessarily need, I'm just going to keep it in here. And we are going to just give it to him like this because it is going to be nice and easy for him to, you know, take care of that and keep it in one place, you know? All right. So we'll put all of our other extras on the top here, and then he'll just have this extra box with all of his stuff in it. Cool? Cool. Twitch isn't letting you chat. It says I need to verify. What the heck? That's weird. How you doing, Trail Tech? Good to see you. MSI Meg Ace. Okay, I need to save this to ship off some RAM later. Yeah, it's just not sending the code that it said it's going to give you. No. So normally I put everything in the like all in one box, like back into the original PC case box, put that into a bigger box surrounded by like foam and like industrial sized bubble wrap and ship it out. But this is a local customer, so I don't need to do that. Like rather than doing that, he has a nice little box there that has all the accessories for the motherboard in it, and then we'll put all the rest of the accessories in the top side of the box, and then he'll all have that inside of that motherboard box. Since he's local, like he's here in town. About to lurk in the background while you drive home? Good. It's a good call. Texting and driving is bad, folks. Shouldn't do it. Too much. Okay, there's a lot of friggin' plastic on this motherboard. Never seen so much plastic on one motherboard. All right. I think, oh wait, no. A little bit right there. I think I got it all now. All right. Got all the plastic. Got a 5080 on the way? Nice. Can you hold the motherboard closer to the camera above you for like 1 second? This camera, for whatever, like the autofocus wasn't working. Like it hasn't been working for a little while, so I have to like I have to like manually focus it, like watch. So I like manually focus it with the lens. Navy SEAL, make sure that your thing is not set up to low quality. Because I'm shooting everything in 1080p and uploading in 1080p. I think it's something with like the grain and the lighting. because everything is in 1080p. No, it's like lighting an ISO or something. It's not actually the resolution. It's a camera setting, which means I have to climb up on top to try and figure out what's going on. But we'll just speed through this part. It's fine. We won't be in the down camera for too long. Don't like how my cameras won't zoom when 1080p 60 FPS. What kind of camera are you talking about? Some fancy packaging. Washing out can be due to the lighting, like, and the ISO. Washing out is generally due to not a proper balance between the ISO and the lighting. How much was the RAM? Almost 700 bucks, I think. It's this stuff, like something about the way the lighting is coming off of this texture makes it look really weird. Like if you look at the other parts, it's not as bad, but yeah, I don't actually know what's going on, and I'm not gonna try to troubleshoot it during this. Specs: we've got a Core Ultra 9 285K, we've got 3 terabytes of storage, 64 gigs of DDR5, and a PNY RTX A4500. We're just gonna speed through this part so you guys don't have to complain about the down camera anymore. Okay, it's my innovative solution. Woohoo! All right, real quick, we need to double check if there's shared lanes. What the heck? They didn't even stick that in there? This thing was just loose. We need to check if there's any shared lanes on these M.2 slots with the PCIe slot. Probably this guy. Nope. It's like M.2 retention feature wasn't even bolted in. It's crazy. Okay. Real quick.
White boy trying to talk to.
Okay, TikTok. NSI Meg Z890 Ace. No sponsoring in today's stream? We don't have sponsors. You kidding me? Ain't nobody sponsoring me. Page cannot be found. Cool. Support. I want the manual in English. You have a 9800X3D and a 5060 Ti. It's a little bit lopsided. I mean, that 9800X 3D can push out a lot more FPS than that that 5060 Ti can. M.2 slots. For details on PCIe bifurcation, go to page 33. 33. Okay. So, to enable PCIe 5.0 by 4 for M.2 underscore 4. I don't care about that. Okay, so we just can't use M.2 underscore 4. That's what I read there. They're not labeled. They're not labeled. Oh wait, M.24. So that's this guy here. So we can use one of these guys. Use this one. I'm just gonna pick it at random. He was doom scrolling before stream. I was pooping before stream. That's what I was doing. Sure you all wanted to know that. Well, we've got one up here. That's our primary. And then we've got a secondary SSD that's going to go somewhere else. So in a lot of boards, you actually want to use like the lowermost if you don't want to be sharing lanes with the top PCIe slot. But it just all depends on the board. It all depends on the board. You can't take it for granted. Are you going to IPON in the Netherlands? No, I'm not going to the Netherlands. Okay, we'll go back here so you guys can go back to complaining about the motherboard or the lighting. Okay. If you're not complaining about, the camera, I'll know something's wrong. Okay. Just want you to know that. Okay, that's on there. It's got a RAM in there. Google block diagram for the board gives you a layout of the lanes. I would rather just check the manual posted by MSI. Like it's a much more credible source than Google. You know. Remember you from a long time ago. How long ago was that? Gaming Trucker Dad with the likes, thank you. All right, 64 gigs of RAM and half of a mortgage payment going in. It's me. It's me, I'm Mario. Wow, how did that not get caught for banning? Hold on. Can't do it from Meld. Goodbye. Sorry, bots. No, that's... You can read it, but it's... Okay. So, this camera, so you can see how my hand is blurry up here. The autofocus is not working on it right now. So I set the focus to the height of this. So if it's up here, you might not be able to read it because it might be blurry. That's one thing. The other thing is something going on with the ISO settings on it, which is why it's causing it to look weird. Two different things. Why would I go all the way to the Netherlands? I can't sell things to the Netherlands. And do you have any idea how much that would cost for me to go to the Netherlands? Like, it's absurd. It's absurd money. Absurd amounts of money. And I have no reason to try and sell things to the Netherlands because I, like... What the heck? Is this bolted in on the top, too? Sure is. Sure is. He has RAM, get him! My dog will attack you. Don't come near me. One year. You think I'm supposed to remember things from a year ago? It's wild behavior. It's wild behavior if you think I'm gonna remember something from a year ago. Why are you not going to showcase? Yeah, I'm... Like, I just don't, like, I don't have that kind of money, and, like, that exposure is likely not going to help my business in the US. It's not worth it for me. CES makes sense because I'm here in the US. What am I pairing? We've got an Intel Core Ultra 9 285K, 3 terabytes of storage, 64 gigs of RAM, and the RTX A4500 Pro Series GPU. This is gonna be a workstation. No, like, look. See? Intel Core 900, Intel Core. You bring it up here, you can't because the focus is down here. See? That part has nothing to do with pixelation. It is the focus depth. Is that fan in the way of the motherboard? Is it really? There we go. Got it. Nailed it. Okay. There we go. I mean, I just showed you a thing that you could see laying on the table that was very clearly legible. I don't know what you want from me. Yeah, it's a great build. And I mean, like, when you're doing engineering stuff, as much as I love AMD, when you're doing engineering type stuff, like, Intel is kind of the way to go. Okay, he's Navy SEAL. I literally just showed you. You can read this. Look. Intel Core Ultra. I'm reading it on the screen. Right there. It's the same feed you're seeing, and I'm seeing it in a small size. Like, there's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing I can do about it right now. Perfectly average sized. Get into the Focus Ford sponsored by Redneck. Oh my gosh. I actually met some guys at CES from the Netherlands. They designed, I think it was the Netherlands. They designed like a really cool electric car. One that's like super classically designed and like doesn't have any of the stupid like frills and screens and stuff of most electric cars. It's just like a classic cruiser, but it's electric. Super cool. What's an Intel? I know, right? I don't make Intel-based PCs very often on this channel anymore, do I? Come on. Go. I need to take this off for a second to get that last bolt in. It's cool. 30% of our buses here in Tel Aviv are electric. Yeah, I think it's. I mean, honestly, buses like city buses are probably one of the best use cases for battery electric vehicles, to be honest. Like shorter, very like a lot of stop and start, with, you know, plenty of places to stop and you know, refuel. It's a great time to use electric. Okay. Yeah, we should have plenty of space the rest of the time. All right, let's get Susan out here. Did I daisy chain that or fan hub? The fans that are in here are all going to be daisy chained. It didn't come with a fan hub. You'd stay with 7800X3D rather than 9850X3D? No, I didn't say that. I did say if you already have like a 9800X3D, there's no point in upgrading to a 9850X3D. There's still some amount of improvement, like between the 7800X3D and the 9800X3D. Do I think it's worth the cost difference if you already have the 7800X3D? It's hard to say. For me personally, it probably wouldn't be. All right. Power supply is going to go there. I feel like this is just going to be in the way while we work on stuff, so let's get rid of that for now. It looks like the same bolt as that. Yep. Electric cars are hell in Europe because in some countries you have a lot of power stations and the others have 0 stations. Yeah, that's fair. I don't drive that much. So I probably would be a good user for an electric car, but here's the thing. My car cost me $2,500. And good luck finding me an electric car that isn't like 10 times that cost. That can actually drive, you know, more than 100 miles on a tank. What buses and trucks and the torque is the power? I'm confused. I don't know what you just said. All right. Let's get our HD audio. It's gonna be right over here. Okay. We got USB 3. That is gonna be over here. Okay. Okay. USB-C is right there. Okay, it's not that direction, it's this way. Okay, USB-C. All right, so all that stuff is plugged in. Now we got to start working on our fans. My car's been paid off for a decade. I have not had cars paid off for that long, but the last car that we had a payment plan on was, let's see, I think we got rid of it in like 2020. Well, we got rid of the car in 2022. I think we paid it off in like 2019. Since then, we've just paid cash. How much do you pay in road taxes per month? Road taxes? I pay a yearly registration or bi-yearly registration fee, so like every other year. And I pay, you know, we have taxes in on our gas, and that is it. There's no road tax. I was saying with the trucks and buses, it's not the power from speed, it's the torque to get it going. Yeah, exactly. Like instant torque, plus like regenning and not burning fuel when you're like sitting still. Like that's why electric city buses are so smart. Okay, I don't want any of these metal wires in this computer because those just cause problems. Excuse me. Buy your RAM 2500 with a 5.9. Oh, I'm jealous. You bought it new in 06 and you still have it. Wow. I can never seem to keep cars for more than like a few years. I always want something different. Not new necessarily. I never bought a new car, but I just like I want something different, you know? Yeah, no, we pay a registration fee, which comes with like some of that money goes towards roads and stuff, and then we pay tax, like they include tax costs into our gas, and that's it. There is no road tax here in the US. Well, at least not here in Idaho or in any state I've lived in. New cars don't last as long anymore. I mean, that's kind of not true. I mean, I guess it depends on how far you look back, because it used to be if you could get 100,000 miles out of a car from, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, you were doing pretty good without any like major repair work. Or maybe it was a little bit longer ago than that, but like, I have a 2005 with 175,000 miles and everything is all original, still runs great. My wife's car is a 2018 with over 100,000 miles, and like the only thing we've had to do really on it was a water pump. Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar, oh how the mighty have fallen. What? What's wrong with Dr. Pepper Zero? It's cream soda flavor. I don't need no empty calories. So not monthly payments? No, that does not exist here. You should come live in the US. Come live in the land where the eagles roam. But no, yeah, that's not a thing here. I mean, I don't know if some states have implemented that. Maybe like California has, but no, it does not exist here. The other thing that a lot of places do, especially like busy cities, have tolls. So you like have to pay a toll to, go down a certain road, especially during like peak traffic hours. That definitely is another like form of, taxing road users, but yeah, nothing quite like what you guys have in the European Union. Hey, my front panel header is over here. Perfect. Apparently I forgot to plug that in. I mean, I would have remembered eventually, you guys, but like, I'm remembering now. Ooh, that's tight on there. It's tight on there. I like cream soda. Husk. We were one of the last countries here without tolls. That's nice. I've never lived in a place that had tolls. I think Portland is talking about putting tolls in now, but like I had never once been on a like experience having to pay a toll like my entire life. I almost accidentally did when I was driving through Texas, because I didn't know like my navigation was like, go down. It's just like go down this road. Like this is the fastest way, and I was like, okay, cool. And then it's like, this is a toll road, and I was like, what are you doing to me? Yeah. Apparently, you have to tell your navigation, I don't want to pay tolls. Okay, is that an RGB header? Yeah, it is. Okay. Come on. There we go. Okay. All right, let's get some of these guys out here. We have to pay 18% VAT on everything. When we buy a car, let's say it's $20,000 in the US, over here it's $45,000. That's just ridiculous, dude. No. We started a war over taxes. And then now look where we are. I mean, we do pay a decent amount of taxes, but like it's nothing like what people in Europe have to pay. Like I will definitely stand with you there. It is egregious the amount of taxes that Europeans pay. You know, granted, you know, you guys get, you know, free healthcare and stuff, but I would much rather have fewer taxes so I can choose if I want to spend, you know, more money and have, you know, more healthcare coverage, or if like I'm really healthy and stuff, I can choose to not do that. Holy rat's nest. What is happening down here? How long did we go from a stream PC to a stream about cars? I don't know. But I'm okay with it. I love cars. If you guys didn't know this, I am a huge car guy. I don't own super expensive cars. More so I work on cars than anything else, but like I love cars. I've worked in the commercial automotive industry basically my entire life. Well, my entire, you know, professional career. You know, I've worked on cars my entire life. My dad and I started working on cars when I was a kid. I love cars. I will never complain about us talking about cars. Never, ever. Okay, hold on. I need to... Hold on. I want to undo this, because this is kind of wrapped around some of these cables. Do you water cooling? Yes, we're actually, so this is kind of like a cheat way to do custom water cooling, but we are doing custom water cooling in a sense on this one. So this customer said he wanted to be able to overclock his CPU, which, you know, I don't know if that's always the best idea for the type of work he's doing, but you know, to each his own. But I was like, well, you know, we can do custom water cooling. But when you have a Pro Series card, you know, it's going to be really tough unless you're, you know, a big system integrator to find, you know, a water block for the GPU. But we can do CPU water cooling. And if you don't want to spend a bunch of extra money, Phanteks has this really cool kit that, you know, sets you up to do all of your custom CPU water cooling for like $400. It has everything you need. So that's what we went with. You can buy a new car if you just sell a few sticks of RAM. I know. I don't need a new car though. Like, I've got a nice little car. It runs great. You know, it's nothing fancy. All right. This is a rat's nest, and I hate everything about it. First three cars, 80 Buick Regal Super Coupe, 74 Nova, and an 88 Fox body. I mean, every single one of those cars is cooler than any car I've ever owned. You know, I did have a pretty cool truck before I got the CRV. I had a 68 F100 with a 360 in it. That was a pretty cool vehicle. It's probably the only objectively cool car I've ever owned. You know, I've had a couple of Jeep Cherokee XJs from the 90s that I thought were cool. The average person probably doesn't think they were cool, but I thought they were cool. You know, I had an F-150 as a 2013. You know, nothing to write home about. I liked that car. Yeah, I sold the 68 last summer. After I bought the CRV, my wife was like, I don't really want to have 3 cars. Like, it's just too much in our driveway. Like, we don't want to pay the insurance on it and all that stuff. And I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So I negotiated. I was like, well, if I have to sell the truck, you know, and I get a good price for it, can I buy some new irons for my golf club set? And she was like, yeah, once you sell it, you can buy some new irons. And I was like, okay. It's like, I guess I can live with this. That guy is still plugged in down there, right? Yes, it is. Okay. I'm not losing my mind yet. Your channel's blowing up. Thank you. Is there a bunch of you guys in here just all chatting about cars? Is that what we need? Is that what we need? A PC/car channel? Kind of feels like the move, you know? Kind of feels like the move. You've got 4 yourself and you're looking for a couple more. Yeah, see, I don't even have room for 4. If I had 4 cars, like, I don't know where, I honestly don't know where we would put them all. Like, we just don't have the space for that many vehicles, you know? And we really don't need them. Like, on top of not having the space, like, I don't have the time to, like, you know, be working on that many cars. And, yeah. My wife wouldn't be very happy with me, so. We're gonna stick with what we've got. This is the problem with super long cables. They're kind of a pain in my butt. Lots of zip ties in this system. A lot more than usual. There we go. All right. So that mischief's a little bit managed now. Okay. Let's put in some power cables, shall we? All right, so our CPU power cables are over here. Let's get this bad boy out here. You should make a video about your cars. I used to make some about the truck just because it's like, it was a classic and it was actually cool. But cars I own today aren't really that interesting. Like I own a 2005 Honda CR-V and a 2018 Mazda 6. Like neither of which are very interesting. My wife's car is quick. The Mazda 6 is quick because it's turbocharged, but still not that interesting, you know? Got 2 first-gen 4Runners. Nice. Considering a third, then 89 pickup. Sir, it's a lot of vehicles. It's a lot of vehicles. Jay's 2 cents and old Flip for Flop have separate car channels. Oh, okay. I see. I don't know if I have time to make that much more content, but it is an interesting idea. I didn't realize JC Sense had a car channel. We're changing your name of your channel to Personalized Cars, the PC channel. Is it worth it to spend $250 on an Intel i5 6th gen? No. No. I'd use the third for parts, then flip what's left. There you go. Mazdas are great. I love them. I've owned 2 now, and I have really enjoyed both of them. I had a little Mazda 3 before this, and it was great. Like I would average, 30 plus miles to the gallon all the time. It was wonderful. All right, we don't need that. Don't need Molex. We should need one of those. We need that CPU. Need motherboard. So another CPU. Yeesh. Okay, we don't need the rest of this. I think this GPU is powered by a single connector, so we'll probably end up using that one. We could use this one. Oh, this is dual 6 pins. Interesting. Oh no, there's the other back. Okay, so if we need 2, we'll use this guy here. If we just need 1, we'll use this solo, but we'll figure that out when we get there. I own 2 Mazdas, the Protege 5 and a Mazda 3. Yeah. I really wanted the hatchback, but I found a really solid deal on the sedan that I had, and so I ended up getting that. I love the Mazda 3 hatchbacks, especially the older ones now. The newer ones, I mean, they look good too, but the ones from like the 2010s were super solid. We're more interested in just seeing the cars, not how interesting they are. That's fair. $3,500 for a 5090 or a 4090. Yeah. Yup. Yeah, Core Ultra Series 3, they said they were the mobile versions of Core Ultra Series 3 is supposed to come out really soon. I don't know when exactly that's supposed to happen, but I know the Core Ultra Series 3 mobile is supposed to be this year. Because they were talking about it a ton at CES. I'm not sure when their desktop versions are going to be out. Rotary engine. The Protege and the Mazda 3 don't have rotary engines, I don't think. Did the Protege have a rotary engine? I didn't think it did. I thought it was just the RX 7 and 8 that had rotary engines, or the RX models. My Mazda 3 was just a nice little 2-liter 4-cylinder. Have you done Lee and Lee builds before? Yes. I've built with a lot of Lee and Lee stuff over the years. Oh yeah, maybe they'll be there. Core Ultra 5 seems to actually be a really good bang for the buck. It is. Just a risk if this ends up being a dead platform. Yeah, that is definitely a risk with, I mean, honestly, anytime you go with Intel, like they just love changing out their sockets like every year, it seems like. But yeah, the Core Ultra 5 is such a good spot for like if you want to game and stream, or if you want to be doing productivity. It's just, yeah, it's such a good option. PD Power 1. Maybe we'll use this guy for the extra power onto the motherboard there. Let's do that. Yeah, I've never owned a rotary engine. Like it's a cool idea, but yeah, I've never found a reason good enough to try and get one. Yeah, I mean the Core Ultra 7 obviously is like better, but like if you're thinking about like, you know, trying to ball on a budget, like the Core Ultra 5 is a super good option because it's reasonably priced. You know, you still get like 14 cores, and you know you can do a lot with it because it has those extra cores that you couldn't do with like an equivalent like Ryzen 5, right? Okay, got that set up. All right, before I put my power supply in here, I want to get started on the water cooling because I need to put the back plate on this, and the power supply sits right there. So let's start looking at our water cooling solution. Actually, before we do that, let's put some fans at the bottom here. So we got a bunch of fans. I mean a bunch of them. So we're gonna put 3 along the bottom, and then we'll put 3 on the radiator. Don't worry, I've got another one sitting over here that I can steal. Whoops. Okay. Excuse me. I was using my PC normally, and then it randomly crashed and like kept boot looping and crashing instantly. Told me to recover my PC, but I left it unplugged for 10 minutes and it worked. What do you think of the UP upright GPU mounts? If you have like a big enough case for them, they're great. You have to be careful that you don't want the GPU too close to the glass panel, otherwise it gets really poor airflow. That's the one thing to look out for if you want to do a vertically mounted GPU. Spins lights up, but nothing comes up on your monitor. Do you have a boot post like code or lights on the motherboard to tell you anything? Yeah, it's definitely gonna be hard to diagnose over chat. Yeah, like, does your motherboard have easy debug LEDs? Because that's gonna help a lot. They're near the top right, like typically they're usually like right above the power cable for your motherboard. It's an Asus A320 MK, so it probably doesn't have that. Yeah, because that could be like, it could be a dead CPU, it could be, it could be a power supply issue. Kind of hard to know without the debug LEDs, unfortunately, or like more parts to test it with, Oh, it does have light. It's yellow amber. So yellow/amber is a DRAM light, which typically means your system memory is having troubles. You could try resetting the CMOS. If your RAM is set to like XMP or Expo, sometimes it, when it starts to fail or has issues, it won't run properly on those faster speeds and tighter timings, but it might run on default. So that's one way to kind of verify what's going on. Yeah, Media's got the same RAM, not storage. So the 2 memory sticks on your motherboard. He did, Husky said it's yellow/amber. I mean, depending on how old it is, like your RAM could technically, like it's possible your RAM is under warranty. I don't know. These fan cables are long enough. We can just run over the back first. Yeah, DDR4 is on the cheaper side. Well, you can't post your PC without RAM. I mean, if you just took one out, then I guess that would work. But you can't take both of them out. Woo. Okay. Can't type that fast. Sorry. Woo. Ooh. Okay, got those fans plugged in. Get those guys out of the way for a second. Oh. Yeah, the case is pretty cool. When I was just sitting in Windows, my CPU usage was high. That's interesting. I mean, with the Ryzen 3, it's going to be kind of high. I mean, what's high? Like, is it like 40% or something? Because those are only a 4-core CPU, right? I mean, it takes a lot just to run Windows these days. All right, now we're ready to start working on our loop here. So I've never used one of these. I've never actually seen one in real life, but I know what's in it, and I think it's got everything we need here since I bought the fans. Got a radiator there. Got all of our tubing. It even came with a cute little bottle. And a jumper, I guess. Or something. Maybe that's a 24-pin jumper for filling up the the loop. All right. This little bottle's so cute. All right. Let's start with the CPU block. Look how cute this little bottle is. So little. Someone did a remaster of Windows 7. Interesting. Just built my first PC a few weeks ago. It all went smoothly. Ryzen 5700 XT, 700 XT, so I had to use 16 gigs of RAM. Yeah, that's fair. But 16 gigs is plenty for gaming. You can get yourself a 5500 for less than $100. That's true. So even no apps open, there's still, yeah, there's a ton of bloatware in Windows. Sometimes your RAM is maxed out. How much RAM do you have? Could be clone drivers building up. Need to look in Task Manager, delete those. Honestly, you could also, like, if you've never, you know, reinstalled Windows too, like, you know, never hurts to reinstall Windows fresh from a USB just to clear out old junk. Ooh, so fancy. So sexy. Okay, so we got an RGB thingy there. Got some brackets. Got some bolts. These are AMD. I don't know what that is. All right, and there's our back plate. Definitely need that. Should we read the instructions, you guys? Oh, cool. They just kind of like flop back and forth. That's awesome. All right. Yeah, it's because your PC isn't posting, that's why. Like, it's not booting up. Oh, that's the way. There we go. They're all in there. Give her a little squeeze. It should have some adhesive to hold it in place. There we go. All right, we're gonna look at the instructions for Intel here. Maybe take the CPU out to see if it'll post without it. You can't do that. Goobers. All right. Prepare Intel socket. Put that in there. Place these guys onto those, and then the mounting brackets, and then the other bit. Okay. So. Got those brackets. We've got these brackets. And are any of them labeled? No. But those do look different. Okay, so it's those ones. These must be for AMD. All right. Step 1. Thread these guys onto the back plate. Very minimal instructions. I love it. It's my favorite. I know for sure a guy in person can fix it easy because he has stuff to test it with. Yeah, exactly. My neck seems pretty pale. Well, maybe it's just the lighting. How's my day going? It's going good, Fear God. Propane, that wouldn't work. Don't be discouraged. Troubleshooting can be frustrating, but it's a great learning tool. Absolutely. Give an update in a few days. All right. Okay. So we got those all started. Let's make sure those are nice and tight. Looks like we have to use a flathead to twist them a little bit more. Get them nice and tight like. Okay. Okay. You're gonna need it. You got this in the bag, bro. You got it in the bag. All right, and then these brackets go like this. Facing outwards, put that down. All right, so that's what we have so far. You can't even really see what's happening. Now these brackets go like this. This goes through there, and that goes in there. Easy peasy, right? Don't worry, I'm not forgetting about thermal paste. Still plenty of room for that. Plenty of room to put our thermal paste on, especially since Phanteks gave us a tube of thermal paste. Boom. See, we got that done. Look at that. Apply thermal paste. They want it in an X pattern, which is actually the way I was going to do it anyways. What did I do with that tube of thermal paste? Here it is. Nice build. Hey, thank you, Intel. Or Inet. My Intel was on my brain, so I just kind of came out as Intel. Stay on there. Just a tiny bit extra for good luck. Okay. Internet crashed. Nice. Bro, think Intel comes to chat? I mean, I knew it wasn't actually like the Intel. I just, you know, connect DRGB cable to that. Okay. Kind of the job description. PCs are the single most powerful yet stressful machines to game on. And it will never not be frustrating. Good luck, man. That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. I can't really argue with that. Connect the DRGB cable. Which one is that? Kind of looks like this one. Right here. As many PCs as I've built and worked on, I still almost replaced my $1,000 GPU thinking I was having VRAM failure. But what I forgot was I was running a DP extension cord. Get wrecked. All right. Guessing it doesn't matter which one of these goes to which. Doesn't seem like it does. Well, I guess it kind of does. So this one goes on the right. Of course! Yeah, I mean, these are kind of the same length, so it shouldn't really matter. Yeah. Yeah. This one goes on the left. Yeah. Yeah. All right, what's next? What do we say is next? Okay, we did all that. Install CPU block. Okay. Cool. But first, plastic off, guys. Plastic off. AMD goes this way. Or Intel, sorry. Intel goes that way. All right, let's get the springs on these so they're nice and ready to go. I'm a nugget gamer, do my whole build for less than $1,000. Nice. I mean, my original PC that I built was like $1,300 in 2020, and that thing lasted me quite a while before I finally upgraded it. Oh, we can get both of these started. Yeah. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So it wants this side down for Intel. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Okay, that side started. That side's not started. Here we go. There it is. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, look at our fancy little cover here. So I figured out what this is for. Boom. Check that out. Oh, you guys couldn't see any of that. See? That little piece is just a little magnetic cover. It's cute. Okay. What do you want us to do now? Install top cover. Hey, we jumped ahead. Tube insertion. Soft tube insertion. Install insert. Plug tube in. That's it. Okay. That's easy enough. We're not going to do that just yet. We need to run this cable out to the back. Come on, please fit through there somewhere. Please? Okay, maybe not over there. Maybe over here instead. Okay. Really? You're not gonna fit through there either? Okay. Alright, we'll go up here with the power cables. Okay, so that goes out to there, and then this guy is going to plug in to there, like so, and then we actually have an extra header from those other fans that we can plug into. We don't have to plug it into the motherboard directly. We can run everything through a single channel. So we'll do that. All right, and now we just got all this extra cable to deal with. Let's do that first. You can build a $150 system all day, selling it not so easy. Yeah, exactly. Not a lot of interest in systems that are that low end. Can't get any RAM in it. You know, try building a $150 PC now, gotta be a challenge. Yeah, right. In 2014, my PC build would be the king. Right now your PC is worth like $2,300. Build it for less than $1,000. Isn't that crazy how expensive stuff has gotten since then? So you know, just the decade difference. Try building a $150 PC right now. I'm not gonna try that right now. Probably can't get any RAM in it. i5 4th gen with a GTX 7 something or other, 4 gigs of RAM. Big ballin' back in the day. Not anymore. Got an HP Elite desk from 2014. i5 4590, 8 gigs of RAM. And a Quadro P620 GPU. That's a Pro Series GPU. Quadro. I don't sell things. I'm kind of a collector. Definitely not a hoarder. Definitely not. Definitely not. Nobody's a hoarder in here. Nobody. Although you don't want to see the number of things I threw away when I moved out of my 500 square foot office and knew I was going to have to live out of a 90 square foot office back home. It was bad. What about GTA 6? How much FPS do you think you're going to get? Well, we all know GTA 6 is never actually going to release, so it probably doesn't matter. Shots fired. Okay, got that in there. All right. Oh, look at that. I folded it up perfectly. All right, we don't need that box right now. Don't need that. Let's deal with this next. This is the pump reservoir combo. The plan is to mount it over here. So hopefully that is a possibility. Oh, look at that chunky boy. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Ooh, it needs SATA power. All right, we'll grab a SATA cable. SATA. More RGB cabling. More fan tube stuff and a mounting bracket. And some of that. Frames per year. My problem is I don't sell them at all, so my walk-in closet is no longer a walk-in closet. Yeah. Yeah, that'll happen. It takes you 3 hours to download a game and play it. It takes you 1 year. Nice. Perfection. Definitely don't have a Windows 95 PC sitting behind me at the moment. No, of course not. Of course not. Why would you ever have that? Why would anybody do that? All right, let's check out this guy real quick. I'm pretty sure this mounts to that, and then this should be able to mount to a set of fans, like so. Mounting options. So we can mount it on the side here like this, where these sides sticks out this way. Probably be the easiest way to run it. Sides fan, in front of fan, on top of fan. Oh, we can mount it on top of a fan? We could totally mount it like right here, like that. Let's figure out how long our GPU is, because that might limit some options here. That might limit a few options. I don't think this is a particularly large GPU, but we should double check. Encased in plastic and taped shut. Okay. Wow, look at that. An 8-pin to double 6-pin connector adapter. That's crazy. All right. So this guy's gonna sit all the way over here, like so. Just like that, right there. So, you know, we could put it here. It's gonna be a little tight. I think we put it against the back like that on this middle fan. Cool, cool. Executive decision made. I'm gonna go, Red. I have to go to sleep. So I'm not dead in the morning. All right, Husk, thank you so much for being in here, dude. We'll see you on the next one. OG Macintosh PC and the no longer walk-in closet. I definitely don't have that thing. Never seen one in my life. Yeah, of course not. Of course not. Okay, so I'm thinking we're gonna go with, I don't know how well you guys can see this on that camera, this first mounting style, where these side ports are going to be sticking out this way. That way, you know, we don't block all of the airflow from this fan. I think that would be the best option. Yeah. Yeah. I like that. Well, the question is, how am I going to bolt it in to there? Top of fan, in front of fan, Sides fan. Sides fan mounting. Okay, so I bolt it to this guy first. Like this. So I bolt it to this guy first, like so. And then I bolt it into the fans. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? Like that? Okay. Cool, 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 cool. Where's all my bolts? I think they're in here. I like this kit, you guys. This thing is pretty cool. However, if they think they're using their stupid free tools, they're crazy. There we go. Okay. All right, I'm gonna kind of stick it there for now, and we'll just kind of check what sort of height we'll be at. So we can do it there. I think that would be fine. I kind of like that. Don't want to go too tight because it is just going into plastic. Thankfully, with such a small handle, you can't really put a ton of torque onto it. Okay. Now we need this guy. And this. This guy is going to go right onto there. Come on. Okay, we got that one started. Let's get the bottom one started. Okay. Boom! Check that out. Reservoir's in. All right. What are we at here? Hour and a half. That's how you know that this is a little bit more in depth of a build than normal. An RGB cable goes in there somewhere? Is it on the other side? Hold on. Should have told me about the RGB cable before mounting. It's fine, I guess. There's the RGB cable. RGB port. That tiny little spot. Alright, so we shouldn't need this guy because we already have one of those adapters with an extra header on it. Just need this side. So this guy is going to go in that tiny little port. It's such a tiny little thing. that's in there now. Now I can put this back. Come on. Okay, got that one started. Okay. All right, there we go. Probably don't want to shake that too much. All right, let's get our RGB cable run to the back. It's gonna run just right through here. Okay, and then let's plug that in while we are ready. So see, we have this little header right there. Just plug that right in. No, this is a Phanteks kit. It's called the Phanteks EZ Fit. All right, we're not gonna need that cable. Don't need these. So I'm just gonna stick them up there for now. Empty, 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 empty. All right, just cleaning up the desk a little bit. Don't need this anymore because we already used it. Shouldn't need that anymore, I don't think. Okay. Now, let's run our SATA and pump signal through here. Simone, thank you for the follow. Ryant Heath with the follow. Thank you guys. Lured all the way home and you're still going. I know. You lurked all the way home, man. Yeah, this is a longer build with this this custom loop system. Definitely takes a little longer than usual. All right, I'm gonna pull this USB-C out just so I have a little more space to work with here. Okay. All right, put the USB-C back in. Okay. All right, SATA is gonna go to this SATA power cable, which we can manage up real quick. So, go to the end here. I think I'm gonna go up with this guy first. Okay, and we'll go all the way up to here. Like that. What up, Frozen Fusion? How we doing? We're gonna come back down. Retail price on the Phanteks Glacier EZ Fit is $400. You can get it on Newegg for 400 bucks. All right, we'll probably end up putting that back through there one more time. Yeah, we might as well just do it right now. What up, Arcadia? How we doing? Welcome in. Okay. So we got all that in there. We need to plug this guy in now. That typically is going to be near the top. CPU fan, pump system right there. Yeah, none of these cables fit through there. All right, we'll go through the side. And it comes in black or white, and you can do hardline or softline. I don't know if the hardline is more expensive or not. But for this system, I told him, I was like, hey, you know, you're not really that interested in, like, you didn't care that much about the looks, you just wanted the performance. I was like, well, if we do soft lines, it's a lot, you know, more flexible, it's more, you know, configurable over time if we, you know, if you decide to change something later on, or like, you know, for maintenance. So I was like, you know, let's just do the soft line kit, and it'll make life easy down the road, you know. All right, so we got that in there. Okay, so that pump is fully plugged in and everything. Building your first PC, Ryzen 5 5600, 5700 XT, 16 gigs of DDR4, 1 terabyte SSD, 550 watt power supply. I would get a bigger power supply, just because, you know, a build like that, you're likely going to want to upgrade it over time. I would look into like an 850 watt, 80 plus gold power supply. You know, it's going to cost you a little bit more, like it might cost you around $100. But in the future, like, you'll be able to make a ton of different upgrades without, you know, any concerns, because you'll have plenty of overhead for your power. That would be my suggestion. The rest of it, like, that's a solid build. B550M. I mean, if you can go with an ATX power or an ATX motherboard, that's great. If not, you know, not a big deal. Okay, so we got all that in there. Don't need that right now. All right, radiator time, yeah? Radiator time. It's going good, Killa. How are you? Holy cow, Rainbow. Get your butt to bed. Yeah, 2:30 in the morning. Yeah, go to bed, Mr. Rainbow. Thank you so much for being in here, dude. I appreciate you. What up, Nighty Night? Wait, what are we talking about? Manageable? Trying to talk my buddy into getting a PC. Told him to hit you up once his taxes come in. What would be a decent budget gaming rig right now? If you're talking about like 1080p, like we could do that for, you know, $1,200-1,300. Something like that. That would be like a AM4 CPU with DDR4, like 16 gigs of RAM. And then like a, you know, like a 5060 or something equivalent. Stock tubing can definitely look pretty cool. Enthusiasts will poo-poo it, but I love, yeah, I mean, I think it looks solid if you do it right. Inlet port is on the top, right? Oh, inlet's on the bottom. Inlet's on the bottom. So ideally, we're going to go outlet here to the CPU, CPU up to the radiator, and then radiator back to this, which is a super simple loop, which is why I love about the soft line and the just doing the CPU cooler. So since it's on the bottom, I think we're going to end up going, ooh, that's tight fit. That's a tight fit. Come on, get past that. Get past that. There we go. Is that hitting on something over there? Oh man, is this too big? Is this too big for this case? Or at least for the top of the case? Oh, this might be slightly too big to put on the top of the case. Yeah, I'm hitting this bolt here for this front. Ooh. That's a problem. Here, let's take, might have some rework coming here. When it says it fits a 360 millimeter radiator, that's quite a bit longer than a standard 360 millimeter radiator. All right. That's not going to be a good thing, is it? Look how tall that is. That could be a problem, you guys. Ooh, we might have messed up here, y'all. We might have messed up here. You can go super ghetto and stick it on top. I don't think that's what the customer is looking for. Time to break out the Dremel and the drill bits. Yeah. Yeah, this is a little bit bigger problem than like not having bolts. This is like a physical fitment problem, you know? Doesn't fit on the top. It's probably not going to fit on the bottom either, is it? I mean, it kind of looks like it'll fit on the bottom. We definitely have plenty of room under the GPU there. That might have to be our solution. I don't like it. There's nothing technically wrong with it, other than you're now pushing hot air into the system instead of cold air. I'm actually a huge Intel fan, but I was playing devil's advocate. I am a big AMD fan, but for workstation type stuff, Intel has definitely got a leg up. I mean, I guess let's double check and see if that still fits on. It definitely fits down there. Okay. I think that's what we're going with. And then we'll put extra fans on the top. All right. Well, this is not how I had planned this build to go. But we're sort of out of options here. So we're gonna have to mount this radiator to the bottom. It is narrow enough to put it there, right? We're gonna have to mount this radiator to the bottom and then mount these fans to it, above it, and roll with that. Yep. Okay. You haven't tried everything until you brought the welder out? Yeah, we're not welding. Sorry. When I say I do custom PCs, that's a little beyond my my skills. I have taken a Dremel to a PC case before, though, for a very minor modification. The problem with this one is the things that I would have to take out are like the rivets that actually hold the top panel, like at least one of the rivets that hold the top panel on, which is not ideal. I mean, I've done with some welding before. Like I've done TIG welding before on titanium. I'm not very good at it, but I know how. Yo, Dr. Bindgrind, thank you so much for the 5 hamsters. I think those are hamsters. You have the same case? Nice. Duct tape. For half a second, I honestly considered putting the radiator on the top of the case. But I was like, no, I don't think that's the best idea. Unless there's like a standoff bracket for this thing. I think these are all just bolts though. Bolts, 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 bolts. More tubes. I can't fit my 360 in vertical for some reason. Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's really enough height that way. This one, because it's not an AIO, it's a it's technically a custom water cooling thing. It's quite a bit longer than a standard 360 AIO, and yeah, it doesn't quite fit on top. So we're gonna have to make it work on the bottom. It's not what I was going for, but we'll make it happen. Bring a mini split and we'll really turn it into an XOC champion. I live in the bush in the middle of nowhere, so driving to a used parts shop would cost more in gas than the GPU itself. Jeez. What do you think about the Trix AM OLED AIO? I just bought it and suddenly see many comments it's not good. I've used the Trix Panorama and it's solid. I don't know about the AM OLED specifically. All right, let's see what happens here. All right, it definitely fits down here. Okay. All right, so we need the short bolts out of here. Yeah, let me reiterate, this is not the ideal location for a radiator. But this is quite literally the only place this will fit in this case. Yeah, I mean, it's expensive. Like, the Trix is very expensive. Maybe that's what people are complaining about, but it has really good quality stuff in it, so yeah. I'm Canadian, that don't exist here. It's a 12-hour drive to your nearest PC parts store. Yeah, the only PC parts store I have nearby is not really a PC parts store. It's Best Buy. The nearest Micro Center for me is also 12 hours. Yo, Anchor, thank you for the follow. Kilobyte redeemed like and a random sub emote. Let's go. The Be Quiet case is awesome for doing a build-in. Which one? That new one that you can like move the feed and stuff around on and everything? I'm trying to remember the name of it. I thought about custom liquid cooling, but it's expensive. Yeah, this one's not too bad. This is a $400 kit. Obviously, it only does the CPU. It doesn't do the GPU, but for 400 bucks, you get everything that you need. Besides, you have to buy your own fans, but you get all the other stuff that you actually need. Okay. All right. How tall are those? Those are tall. Okay. Be Quiet light base. Yes, that's the one I was thinking of. Hold on. I want my little guy here. Be a little easier to do with this one. They got rid of the drive bay and the new Fractal Pop Air. Did they really? I feel like that was one of the few cases out there that you could still get a drive bay in. If you want to go more retro, you can get the Silverstone FLP 01 or whatever, or 02. I think that has a drive bay in it. What the heck? Can I get that one started? Would you just stay on the desk, please? Oh my God. There we go. Now it's started. Let's see if we can get these other ones started now. Okay. I don't see that being an upgrade over your current Pop XL. Oh, yeah, no. I just thought you were looking for a new thing to put in. D-Cousin Red can show you exactly what to look out for. Best pump would be for, put it at the top. So you want the pump low in your system, which typically the pump is inside of the CPU cooler block on an AIO. So as long as the top of your radiator is above that, you're good. Ideally, you want the radiator at the top so all the air bubbles get trapped in the radiator. All right, that one's in there. Check out the Phanteks N-Through. Oh, I love the N-Through cases. Some of them are huge, but all right. That one in there. I understand the drive for Americans like driving from New York to Jacksonville, so 15-hour drive to my nearest PC parts store. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to drive that far either. I don't drive to Micro Center. It's 12 hours away, man. Those ones on the back feel like they might be like cross-threaded or something. Yeah. Just can't get a straight shot at these with these screwdrivers. All right. There we go. So that's all in there. Let's put our top fans on. So we got our intake fans in. Let's get our exhaust, the rest of our exhaust fans in. Anchor, thank you for the follow. Got the PC to boot into Windows. Nice. What did you do? Did you change anything? One bad RAM stick? Hey, let's go. No, this is not a water-cooled GPU, just a water-cooled CPU. The Pro Series cards, like finding a water cooler for them is pretty tough, and it has a pretty low TDP anyway, so there's really not much reason to water cool it. But he wanted to be able to overclock his CPU at least, so we decided to do just the CPU water cool. That's awesome though, dude. Oh, yeah, that's awesome. Good old speaker on the motherboard. Guys, I can't believe we're over 2 hours into this build already. No Wi-Fi. Like you had it before it failed and now you don't. Make sure you do a full like modem before you freak out. Do a full modem and router reset. Like unplug your modem and your router for like 2.5 minutes. plug just your modem back in. If they're separate, if they're just one thing, it's whatever. Plug just your modem back in, let it fully boot back up, and then once it's fully booted up, plug your router back in. Sometimes that fixes that issue. I actually had a customer that had that same issue after replacing his CPU. I'm glad it's taking this long, trying to optimize my setup while lurking. Don't much room, so I gotta make every square inch count. I feel that, dude. I had to do that in here. Games work too, let's go. Yeah, usually the light on your motherboard goes away. Like all the lights on your motherboard turn off once it posts. Those are just like, those are lights specifically for if it fails to post to help you know like what went wrong. Yeah, I mean, you could try connecting your computer into like an Ethernet port directly just to see if that fixes it. Okay, that is all in there. Whew. All right, let's get our power supply in here. Oh wait, we gotta hook up these fans. We gotta hook up these fans. Okay, I'm gonna run these back out and put it in our CPU fan header port. Okay. Got a couple more zip ties to throw in here to tighten some stuff up. Cool, that zip tie immediately broke. Old zip ties, man. That's what happens when you just have so many zip ties and you just kind of collect them over time. Zip ties can like kind of wear out. It's crazy just by sitting there, never being used. Get this back to normal height. Okay. Ah. Nose started running. What the heck, man? Cheap plastic gets brittle fast, yeah. It's kind of crazy because like they don't tend to like I don't see them failing like once they're in use, you know? Like I don't see that happen very often like in PCs I've built or like PCs I've worked on. But for some reason ones that just sit on my desk doing nothing or sit in my desk just all of a sudden just start breaking. All right. Okay. Let's get our power supply in here. Yeah, that just requires a single one. We'll have to route that, but that's okay. All right. Let's get our power supply sitting in here. Don't fall. Jeez, they gave us like 12 power supply bolts. You're able to snag a 5070 Ti for MSRP a couple months ago. It's all fresh. Nice. Yeah, they're definitely not at MSRP right now. If you haven't looked. Yeah, 5070 Ti's are like 900 plus right now, it seems like. Oh. Why? Why would you use such awful material and then a super strong freaking adhesive? The Quadro P620 sitting in the corner crying. Yeah, you're gonna have to talk to it after this. Let it know that it's still good enough for you. Combining multiple conversations in my head, honestly, overclocking a card like that isn't going to get you very much. They're almost maxed out with their factory boost. Yeah, and I mean, in gaming, with a lot of GPUs these days, like, I mean, I know specifically with COD, it hates GPU overclocks. Like, COD crashes a lot anyways, but like when it comes to like overclocking your GPU, man, COD hates it. It becomes so unstable. All right, so here's our power cable for our video card. This. This is our power cable that normally would be for our video card, but it's actually for the additional motherboard input. Okay. Got our two CPU power cable. Oh, that's SATA. Where's my other CPU power cable? Not that guy. Oh, it's underneath for some reason. There we go. Okay. So we got our two CPU power cables here. Boom. And boom. I can see. Okay. We've got our SATA here. Just like that. And we've got our motherboard power, which I think will go on the outside here. Let's do that. I do really like these ASUS Tough power supplies. The cables that they come with are so nice. Okay. Let's put a cable tie around all that. Nice big bundle there. Clean that up. Don't know if we can fit this bundle around this cable tie, but we're gonna try. Or vice versa, the cable tie around this bundle. Oh yeah. Okay. So we only need one of these to go out to the GPU. Gotta get it around that USB-C cable. Fine. Pull out the USB-C cable one more time. Okay. Get that. Get that back in. Okay. All right. So there's our power for our GPU. We got to deal with the extra cable for this because this is a 2-fer. Come on, where's the end of this thing? Keep that loose for a second. Run this back here. Now you see why I put the power supply in so late on this build. Okay. There we go. Now we can tighten this guy back up. All right. There we go. Let's get our GPU installed. Callum Johnson with the follow. Jacob 1904 with the follow. Thank you guys. Still perfectly fine. I'm really not picky. I can enjoy 720p 30 FPS. Nice. If you can enjoy it, then it's all good, right? All right, this is a single slot card. Then it should be this guy right here. Okay. Oh no, it's got two hooks, so I need both slots out. Interesting. Okay, got that hooked up. Grab a couple of these guys here. Um, 100% overclocked with my 7900 XTX, got better 3D Mark scores, but killed my 1% lows in Warzone. Oh, interesting. I grew up playing NES and N64, so graphics don't matter. I grew up with those too, but I enjoy good graphics, man. Okay. All right, we got our power cable right here. Just like that. Okay, there's our GPU in there installed. Looking nice, looking sexy. All right. Time to do some tubing, huh? And you thought I wasn't gonna do this part on stream. Well, you were wrong. You guys are gonna help me plan out this loop. So, it's gonna look a little different than we originally thought, because now hold on, let me double check. I think outlet was on top. Yeah, outlet's on top. So we want to go from here over to here. And then we have to go from here down to the radiator, and then from the radiator back up to this bottom port. Okay. So let's start with the easiest one. The end of this got a little squished. It should be, it should be a nice flat piece, just a little squished. I think we should cut off the squished bit. Ooh, those are not good scissors for this. All right, hold on. Let me go see if I can find our kitchen scissors, because those will work a lot better for this. I will be right back. You can still hear me though. I'm also gonna blow my nose, so sorry about that. Sorry in advance. All right, kitchen scissors. Can you go get me the kitchen scissors? Thanks. Hi, puppy. Okay, hopefully these work better. If not, I've got a razor blade. Like a box cutter. Because this cut that just happened was pretty bad. They have a recommendation on what to use to cut it? Please put a drop of water into the O-ring fitting before installation. Ooh, that's good to know. Let's see. Nope, doesn't say. Okay. My entire setup, like everything that makes a PC is less than $200. Wow, that's crazy. All right, so yeah, you just insert this into the tube, stick the tube in. Let's put some water in our little filler bottle. I have a brand new gallon jug of distilled water, and I'm gonna put some of this liquid Utopia stuff in it. That's keeps bacteria and whatnot from growing in it. And this should mix, yeah, with 1 gallon of deionized or distilled water. Okay, sorry, I'm off camera here, but we're still working, chat. Don't worry, we're working. Can't really do this on camera. There's just not enough space. Okay, got that in there. Mix her up a little bit. Cool, the gallon of distilled water, the opening is bigger than the opening for this little filler tube, so that's fun. This will be interesting. Oh, nope. Because we're a pro. We're a pro. Okay, we're good there. Let's cap off the big jug. Let's put the little guy's top back on. Okay. Here we are. All right, we have water. Okay. Let's get some of this stuff. Grab a paper towel, why not? All right, so we're gonna start with all right, it says put some water on the O-ring, so we're gonna do that. Okay. So technically, I should be able to literally just push this in, right? Let's do our first run is just gonna be there to there. Like that. So let's clip maybe around here. Right around there. Cool. Put another one of these tubes in. Are these fitting things in? Okay. Put a little bit of water on this guy here. Lubricate that all up. Okay. Tiny drop of water on the GPU. Cool, 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 cool. All right. Maybe we'll put this down here. So now, should be able to just press this in here, like that, and then press this guy in here. Like so. And that's how easy it is with this kit, man. Look at that. All right, so now we got to run from here down to the radiator. I think, I'm trying to think of the best way. Like we could go kind of over the top here and back to the backside, and then this can go up and forward. I think that might look nice. So let's grab this. Let's put an insert in it. It's distilled, but this also, like the stuff that I put into it, it helps keep any like bacterial growth from like forming over time so that it lasts longer. All right, so if we go from like here up and over to the back like that, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Oh, over the CPU and behind the motherboard. Interesting, interesting. Do we have, I don't know if we have space to get it out of there, but we can try. It's a good idea. I think we've got the length to do it. Let's give it a shot. So we go in right there, out the back. Gotta go. Hold on, I'm just gonna route this whole thing through there. We might have to disconnect the USB-C one more time. Oh, I gotta sneeze. Woo! Dude, see, this is why I have you guys here. No, side fans aren't gonna be in the way. We're gonna go right through the pass through. I think we can fit through here. Oh, pulling the pass through, but we can fix that once we get the tube all the way through. Figured this would be easier than guessing at how long I need to cut this thing, you know? Hi, puppy. Holy soft tubing, Batman. I know, there's a lot of tube in here. They give you a lot. It's very thoughtful of them. I mean, I think they give you enough that, like, in a normal build, you could do a RAID GPU as well, if you wanted to add that in, you know. All right, so we're not in contact with that fan other than on the frame of it. And then we go right there. Let's see if we can fix this pass through now. Kind of jacked it up a little bit. Dog, what are you doing in here? There is not space for you, bud. Oh yeah, it's a lot easier to see where it goes back here. It's a lot easier to see the pass-through space back here. We pulled that pass-through so far out of its thing though. There you go, you found a spot to lay down, puppy. Good for you. Oh, I just pulled it out of the top now. Honestly, there's so much stuff in this area. I don't really even want to pass through here. I think I'm just going to take this path through out. It's really, there's no way for it to be useful anymore. Because it's so, space is so full. There we go. Taking it out. Okay. And then we want to go right here with this guy. Got to be able to get it to go to a 90. I think we cut it right around there. Cut it right about there. Okay. If If this works, thank Jay's 2 cents. Saw him do something similar with a soft tubing build. All right, I will thank him. I would not be here if my Xbox didn't die in a cloud of smoke. Oh, geez. That doesn't sound good. All right. Nice. Nice. And then we just have this little short run. So we literally just need... Ooh. The edge got a little jagged, didn't it? See if I can fix that. That's better. I just need to cut it fast. Okay. The red ring of death. No, a literal cloud of smoke. Oh my gosh. Literal Xbox One with the brick power cable. I smelled smoke. Next thing I saw, fire shooting out of the top vent. That's wild. All right, so this is gonna go from about here to about there. So maybe about, like if I stick that in, it's gonna be about that length right there. Definitely lived a good life. What happens if the liquid leaks later? Well, I'm gonna leak test the whole system before I like actually turn it on. So we won't fill it today, because it takes a while to make sure it's fully filled and all that. But I will leak test it prior to actually turning everything on. Oh my gosh, I need to blow my nose again, you guys. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna mute myself this time. All right. Much better. All right. And there's our loop. What do you think of that? Here, let's switch to the front. It's a pretty clean looking soft tubing loop. Not bad for the first time ever using soft lines. Huh? What do you think about that? How do we feel about that? Pretty sick? I want ASMR snot rockets. You don't. Trust me, you don't. You certainly do not. All right. Let's put some of these panels back on here. Oh, what the heck? Might need to loosen up that. Might need to loosen up this bottom radiator for a hot second. Let's put some stuff back on here though. I think when I tightened down the radiator, it ended up moving closer to the front. And now it's kind of blocking me getting the side panel on. So let's loosen it for a sec. So we can get the side panel on here. There we go. All right. Oh, is that the wrong size bolt? These bolts. Oops. I'm planning a build PC, so AMD or Intel. My budget's $500. Probably go with an older AMD card or an AMD CPU with DDR4. You're gonna have to get like a Ryzen 5 5500 or something like that. There we go. That's better. Got a bolt there. Oh, we should put the this rear panel back in now. Now that we're done. Hide all of our things. If your budget was $50, you'd be all over it. Customers should love this. I hope so. I'll be able to have him come pick it up pretty soon. Join Red's Discord. I'm gonna have another sick build coming in about a month. Just finished one, a One Piece theme build. Stormtroopers next. Nice. Yeah, join the Discord. We got several people in there that can definitely help out with stuff. Yeah, your build, the build, I saw your build. It's definitely not a $500 budget build, but it's still cool. Look how clean that looks back there now. Sheesh. Oh, sorry, you guys are looking that way. Sheesh. It's pretty clean in the back. Never to be seen again, hopefully. And there's the front. cleaning up some boxes so my floor isn't such a mess. All right, there it is. How do we feel about that? There, now you can see it on the, didn't realize you guys couldn't quite see it on the vertical vertical output there, but there. I mean, it wasn't really a rat's nest, but there's so many cables in there, you know, it's kind of hard to make it not look messy. What's the max wattage on that card? It's only like 300 watts. Like, it's not a ton. We kind of just, I oversized because he wants to go super high end on stuff. And, you know, he had his last computer for like 8 years or something. So I wanted to really oversize the power supply. That way, if at some point he decides to upgrade the GPU in it to a more powerful video card, we could easily just slot it in and not have any problems. Pretty sick, huh? It's a, why is that not tracking proper, or what, not, there. This is the Nvidia RTX A4500. So this is a Pro Series card, designed for, like, you know, workstation applications, not a video game card. Yeah, it's a Pro card. Pretty sick. I would love to turn it on for you guys, but we gotta bleed the loop, and I'm gonna do an airtight testing on it to make sure that there's no leaks, all that good stuff before I power it on. So, I mean, this is a nice long stream today, though, guys. Almost 3 full hours to build this PC. Yeah, the no backplate kind of gives it away, right? It's a sweet rig, man. I think he's gonna be pretty happy with it. And I don't know if either he'll come pick it up or we'll deliver it to him. He's in town, so we'll drop it off and get it all set up. Unplug the pump heatsink, should keep it cool for a few seconds. I'm not gonna risk it. It's not worth it. I know I could, but I'd rather just I'd rather play it safe with how expensive this thing is. It's your card's great ×9 grandson? Pretty much. What up, Darwin? How we doing? Yeah, this is not like the newest of the new and like best of the best Pro Series cards, but it's a really solid one. You know, it's like one or two generations old. But I mean, for what he's gonna do on it, it should be more than enough. Gives Asus Pro vibes. It kind of does, and it kind of fits with the motherboard. Like, the motherboard has some gold accents on it too, which is pretty sweet. They're not quite the same color, but definitely has similar vibes. Yeah, I'm not doing. You can't bully me. All right. Well, that was a long stream, and that was a lot of ups and downs there with the whole radiator situation. So I appreciate you guys being here, and I love the idea of running this soft tube to the back. I think that looks so clean. Thank you so much for that. I would not have thought of that on my own, at least not quick enough to actually implement it. So yeah, appreciate you guys. Yeah, thanks for chatting, keeping it exciting, keeping it fun, keeping it light, keeping it car related. And yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one. We've got another build coming up hot. It'll either be tomorrow or Friday. Wait, what's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Wednesday. It'll either be tomorrow or Thursday. Probably tomorrow. So, you know, make sure your noties are on. Make sure you're following, subscribed, all the good stuff, so that you can see the next one. Yeah, we could always, yeah, if we wanted to put another one for a GPU, you could always easily add it in. That's the beauty of soft blinds. It'd be super simple to add that in if we wanted to. But yeah, it's pretty sick. All right, y'all. Have a great rest of your evening, or late in the night or early into the morning for some of you maybe. And we'll see you on the next one. All right. Peace. Hopefully you'll be back on Twitch. Yeah, hopefully Twitch works next time. All right, y'all. Okay, bye.